What if the greatest lie ever told was about a serpent? What if the creature we've been taught to fear was actually humanity's first teacher of divine wisdom? Tonight, we shatter the chains of centuries-old deception. In the beginning, there was no Satan in Eden, only a subtle creature, more cunning than any beast God had made. The Hebrew word is arum, the same word used for Adam and Eve's awakened awareness after eating the forbidden fruit. For 2,000 years, we've believed a story that the original writers never told. The serpent as Satan? That's not Genesis. That's not even close. Tonight, we trace the serpent's true journey from divine messenger to demonized deceiver. Genesis chapter 3 tells a simple story. A talking serpent approaches Eve. It speaks truth. They will not die from eating the fruit. They will become like gods, knowing good and evil. God confirms this truth later. The serpent vanishes after God's curse. Its fate remains an indiscernible mystery. No mention of ongoing evil, no promise of future battles, just silence. The story moves on to human choices and consequences. But something changed in the centuries after Genesis was written. Jewish thinkers began asking questions the original text never answered. Who was this serpent? Why could it speak? What were its true intentions? Philo of Alexandria, writing in the 1st century, saw the serpent as humanity's inner struggle, not an external demon, but our own sensual desires. The battle wasn't cosmic, it was psychological. Josephus added human emotions to the serpent, envy and malice. Still not Satan, but a jealous creature moved by very human feelings. The serpent became a mirror of our own darker impulses.
Then came the breakthrough text that changed everything. The wisdom of Solomon declared, "Through the devil's envy, death entered the world." Suddenly, the serpent had a master. The life of Adam and Eve went further. The devil spoke through the serpent, using it as a vessel. The snake became a puppet, not the puppet master. This changed everything. The apocalypse of Abraham reimagined the entire story. The tempter became Azazel, a 6-winged dragon feeding grapes to the first humans. Eden itself was transformed into something entirely new. Second Enoch introduced Satanael as the ultimate evil orchestrator. The serpent disappeared entirely, replaced by a cosmic adversary who had rebelled against God from the beginning. Third Baruch completed the transformation. Samuel used the serpent as a garment, wearing it like clothing to deceive humanity. The snake became a costume for evil itself. By the time the New Testament was written, these interpretations had taken root. Paul spoke of the serpent's cunning, but still didn't call it Satan directly. The connection was growing stronger. Jesus spoke of seeing Satan fall like lightning from heaven. Some connected this to Eden, but scholars suggest it referred to his disciples' victory over demons, not ancient history. Revelation 12:9 sealed the deal. That ancient serpent who is called the devil and Satan. The transformation was complete. The subtle creature of Genesis had become the cosmic enemy of God.
But this wasn't the end of the serpent's story. While mainstream Christianity demonized it,
Other traditions saw something entirely different. The serpent began another transformation. Gnostic Christians flipped the entire narrative. In their view, the material world was a prison created by a false god called the demiurge. The true God was pure spirit. To the Gnostics, the Garden of Eden was a cage, not a paradise. The demiurge wanted to keep humans ignorant and trapped in physical existence. Knowledge was the key to freedom. In this revolutionary reading, the serpent became the hero. It represented Sophia, divine wisdom, reaching into the material world to offer humanity the knowledge needed for spiritual liberation. The serpent's offer wasn't temptation, it was rescue. By eating from the tree of knowledge, humans could recognize their true spiritual nature and escape the demiurge's control. This theme of the serpent as liberator found new life in Eastern traditions. In Hinduism, the serpent represented Kundalini, the coiled divine energy at the base of the spine. Through disciplined practice, this serpent power could be awakened. As it rose through the chakras, it brought profound transformation. The ego dissolved, higher consciousness emerged. Here, the serpent wasn't evil or even neutral. It was the very force of spiritual evolution, the divine fire that could burn away illusion and reveal ultimate truth.
Ancient Egyptian traditions also honored the serpent. The uraeus adorned pharaohs' crowns, representing divine protection and royal authority. The serpent was power, not poison. Greek mythology gave us Asclepius, the god of healing, whose symbol was a serpent wrapped around a staff. This image still represents medicine today. The Aztecs worshipped Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent god of knowledge and wind. Here again, the serpent brought wisdom and divine power to humanity. Even the Norse had Jormungandr, the world serpent, whose movements affected the very fabric of reality. The serpent was cosmic force, not cosmic evil. These traditions reveal a startling truth. The serpent as pure evil is the exception, not the rule. Across cultures and centuries, serpents represented wisdom, healing, transformation, and divine power. So what happened to the biblical serpent? How did humanity's first teacher become its greatest enemy? The answer lies in the evolution of religious thought itself. As Judaism and Christianity developed, they needed to explain the existence of evil in a world created by a good God. The serpent became the perfect scapegoat. But perhaps the original story knew something we forgot. Perhaps the serpent's gift of knowledge wasn't humanity's fall, but its first step toward divine consciousness. The word fall itself comes from later interpretation. Genesis describes humans gaining knowledge of good and evil, becoming like gods. This sounds more like graduation than failure. Modern psychology supports this reading. Consciousness requires the ability to choose between options. Without knowledge of good and evil, there can be no moral choice, no true free will. The serpent's curse, crawling on its belly, might represent the spirit of wisdom being forced underground, hidden from those who would misunderstand its true nature. Throughout history, mystery schools and esoteric traditions have preserved the serpent's original meaning. The Ophites, ancient snake-worshipping Christians, knew the truth. Today, as humanity faces global challenges that require wisdom over ignorance, cooperation over competition, perhaps it's time to reconsider the serpent's message.
Join our community of seekers. Subscribe for more truths hidden in plain sight. The Serpent's story reveals how symbols can be transformed to serve different purposes across time. Stay with us till the end, and you'll discover the mystery buried beneath history. If this resonates with your soul, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe right now. Here's the secret that changes everything. The serpent is not your enemy. It never was. It's the part of you that questions, that seeks, that refuses to accept ignorance as bliss. Every time you choose knowledge over comfortable lies, you honor the serpent's original gift. The real question isn't whether the serpent was evil. It's whether you're brave enough to accept the wisdom it offers. What do you believe? Comment below and share your insight.